I know I harp on about it a lot, but I wouldn't if it wasn't important. I'm writing this April 4th and I just lost $300 off the Patreon due to declined pledges April 1st. So any and all support is wonderful. Link below if you're interested. Thanks.
このスカイピアは神の国ですから私たちのことも見ていらっしゃるんです。いつも。いつもって今もか？もちろんです。
It's really good how well it's written that it goes from being just a belief system to potentially some kind of more nefarious thing going on, being watched all the time, you know?
今も俺たちのこと見てるのか?
It's a new video, it's a new instance of Chopper doing something so cute it should be illegal, and it's thus a new win.
さあな。神なんと言おうがいまいが俺には関係ねえ。花からどうでもいいことだ。
Chopper asks Zoro if he believes in God, and he says, possibly one of the coolest things ever. It's so like him.
空島にも地面があるのね。
Kinda only feels fair if Chopper gets his cute win as always, that Nami gets her kawaii win, you feel me?
そっか、絶対に入っちゃいけねえ場所か。
Luffy catching a whiff of excitement at the smell of a building new adventure, and Usopp catching the same smell coming from him.
そっか、絶対に入っちゃいけねえ場所か。絶対入る気だ。
How they all also know him so well by now too. The adventure music in the background is a nice touch here too.
それで、もしその禁断のアッパーヤードに入ってしまったら、どうなるというわけ?
Now, I don't want to be rude, so the win Nami got, I also got to give to my girl Robin, it's maths. Ooh, nice little added mystery that Nami turns up there and then suddenly hears voices, a place where no one should be. I always enjoy added bits like this. It's not just a boat, it's a really wrecked looking one with damage to it. It's not just empty, it's got people's stuff in it. Yet another twist! It's one of those dials that records and replays sounds.
この回、声を記録できるんだわ。
Love Nami's brain and how she's able to figure this out within like 15 seconds of getting a hold of it. Brilliant! Yet another twist, as it seems that something destroyed the people who arrived on the boat. Even better, someone was still alive in that forest and being chased by another dude. The plot thickens and gets extra tasty in the process. You know the best thing about all of this? Oda, no doubt very much on purpose, told us absolutely nothing about what was happening. We just see the differing sides at play. I like that. Luffy losing any and all patience, having to sit around and wait for the wind to take them to the island at some point. He takes their old and broken waver that they found and immediately tries to use it with it sinking. It's this dude from before! Hype! Interestingly, albeit too long to show, all of these dudes who cornered the guy running away have now started to argue about who gets to, I don't know, take him out? Maybe even fighting each other? The utter shock and surprise that the guy who attacked them before wasn't going after Nami there, he was attacking them in the forest. I'm still so confused. Ah, finally the first piece of the puzzle falls into place. Now I can start to gain a better understanding of what's happening. I'm not sure it's a god exactly, smiting them for going to the island, but what I do know is that that was sick as anything and super mysterious too, so Max wins for that. He spoke for the first time and spoke the name of that god. The internal conflict now is so top-notch that it gets a win as far as I'm concerned. This entire scene also contains a real unique looking art style change too, with certain colours retaining their hue and most everything else being grey or black and white. How awesomely Nami continued to use the dial boat there in spite of the insane rocking caused to it. Looked so good I had to show it first. This weird but very unique looking salute. Interestingly, for a couple of reasons, these guys are after Luffy and crew, so it shows that there's an organisation whose job it is to capture people who get there like they did, and it's mandated.
政界人7人を乗せた船だとアマゾンのばあさんから連絡があった。
まさか入国料を払わなかったから？そんな。
Ah, now that makes sense what that old woman was talking about. I know it only just happened, but credit to Oda for circling back to it so quick. The huge aftermath of that huge laser style attack from above.
俺の方も完成だ！俺様のアートはそっくりだろ！
Few wins here. Firstly, how seriously Usopp took this exercise and legit smashed it. But also how he created a scene of himself, basically, as a king here in the middle. Lastly, how happy Chopper is at the work, not even a hint of jealousy in his lovely ickle soul. Usopp's hilarious attempts to stop the destruction of his precious art.
この不審な船、待て！誰だ？あいつら。
Oh, I'm shocked that this has come around so quickly. I figured it'd be an episode or more away, but here they are trying to go and arrest them.
なんで報復前進してんだあいつら。
How seriously these guys try and take the whole soldier, spec ops, SAS type thing they got going on.
多分あいつら変態だ。
あれが変態か。
I don't know which is more funny to me, Usopp explaining what they're doing away as them being weirdos, or Chopper being all like, wow, so this is what weirdos are like.
どーい！止まれ！
Almost as funny is that they did the crawl all the way to their feet pretty much before standing up.
天の裁きにかけさせていただきます！
Great end to a great episode with that right there.
天国の門監視官アマゾンよりビジョンダイヤルによる写真が届いていますので。
Ah, now it makes much more sense why she had a camera and took pictures. Ah!
何かの間違いではマッキンリー隊長、彼らはそんな悪い人たちじゃ。
Huge credit to this dude for trying to back them up right away. Sometimes you just meet guys like this through the story, and even if they're not in it for ages, they leave an imprint.
罰を受け入れればあなた方はその場で安全な観光客となれます。
Don't know if that's a trick or not, but if it's not, that's a great plot twist I didn't see coming.
入国料を10倍払ってくださいまし。この場でお支払いくださればあなた方の罪は帳消しにさせていただきます。
Ah, it's a trick. They haven't got 70 billion. They haven't even got 1 billion. Nice plot twist you got me.
30万100万いくらだ？
だったら700億エクストルは700万ベリーね。
Usopp trying to count it up and then flawlessly giving up and asking Robin for the answer, and of course she knows it, she's great.
のでご注意。
ああ、もういいよ、ほっとこうぜ。早くナミさん探しに行かねえと心配だぜ。
I mentioned this before, but it's great to me how certain members of the crew can sometimes take the lead. Right here it's Sanji making the calls in a way. But also you can't ignore the fact that they went off to ignore them and discuss other matters. Says a lot about Nami that her first and only concern here is to get back to Luffy and the crew in case something dangerous is about to happen to them.
あれだ、ナミがその辺散歩してるだけだとしたらそろそろ戻ってくるかも。ルフィはナミのことより神の住む土地とやらに冒険に行くのが目的なんだな。
It's too long to show, but basically Usopp is more than aware that Luffy kind of wants more of an adventure to the Forbidden Area, so Usopp is cleverly and sneakily trying to alter his decision.
そしたら耳揃えて金払うから、あんたたちも大船に乗ったつもりで安心して待っててくれに。とりあえずなんとかなった。
Before it was Sanji, and now to his credit, it's Usopp taking charge of the overall group decision, or mostly trying to anyway. See, I really do like how often that happens.
あちらでお茶にしましょうか。
ええ。
チョッパー、俺たちは釣りでもやるか。いいな、やろう。
As much as Chopper melted my heart there, the actual win is for them all logically splitting up to do different things. It's 100% one of my favourite things about the anime as a whole, the realism.
はさらに重くなることに。
おめえぶっ飛ばすぞ。
ぶっ飛ばす。
I find it so funny to see Luffy get more and more annoyed until finally he can't control himself any further, sparking a warning from a nearby Usopp.
なんでもねってお前らもやるべ
Hilariously not running to grab Luffy on the spot twice. Fishing out a giant fish together. Zoro jumping in and saving her like a boss.
これはこの空魚は珍しい種類のために捕獲を禁じられております。
Dude, they seriously can't catch a break. This is like the, I don't know, maybe the 4th or even 5th instance of a potential additional crime with a fine.
ゾロとどめを刺したのか
峰打ちだ。
そっか
I've probably mentioned this a dozen times in nearly 150 episodes. Keep in mind I skipped 2 filler arcs as decided by patrons, but Zoro never ceases to amaze me with how damn cool the guy is.
食べれば言い訳もできません。窃盗罪が適用され、第8級犯罪。
This is either the 5th or the 6th now, come on!
だなんて聞いてりゃさっきから罪だのなんだのわけの上がんねえこと言いやがって。いい加減にしろ。
Zoro staying true to his character, clearly getting seriously fed up with being hounded by this guy, so you know when he's ready to take action, it's getting real.
いい加減にしねえと笑っちゃうぞって言うてしたんだよこいつの持ちでったギャグだよギャグ
To his credit, poor old Usopp is trying his hardest to cover up the near crimes that everyone else is constantly committing, knowingly or unknowingly.
何にもしなきゃいいんだ寝てようぜさあ寝ろ早く寝ろ
Everyone legit joining him for a nap right away though.
神聖なるエンジェルビーチでの凄まじい騒音。
いびきもかけねえのかよ
うっとうしい。
Seems as though, maybe, even Usopp is starting to get a little annoyed with this now.
その人たちに逆らっちゃダメよ。だってよ、こいつらよ。
Honestly impressed with how they animated this scene, that was so good.
700万
I knew she wouldn't be cool with that amount of money, but I never expected what happened as a result to be that funny. It's a small win and absolutely done on purpose, but it's definitely a nice side joke that the seriousness of each charge has risen by 1 each time.
第5級犯罪が適用された場合、ゴッドエネルの皆において雲流しの刑に。
雲流し
Okay, turns out I'm very happy to have mentioned the last win, since it's directly referred to now as being a much worse punishment.
雲流しは逃げ場のない大きさの島雲に船ごと乗せられて骨になるまで空をさまよい続ける刑です。
Just putting it out there, and if I'm right, it's very clever, but I wonder if that's what happened to that ship that fell from the sky.
それで何もない空から船が。
何のことだロビン
Ha! I'm so smart, and so is Oda in the anime story. Take that win!
なんていうかつい
だぞ
あれよあれ
Nami totally relying on her charm here again to convince these guys that it was a freak accident. She's really clever.
つい乗ってたぞ。
ロビンがうまく事故でごまかそうとしてるんだ余計なこと言うなそうか
Usopp totally clearly getting more annoyed now at Luffy's constant slip of the tongues getting them into more trouble. By the way, so cool to integrate clouds into their clothing like that.
またほふ前進かよ。普通に運べよ。
They're randomly crawling again. Love Sanji questioning why they don't carry him normally too. Luffy shines like this, not happy with being forced to leave when they've done no wrong, not happy leaving their new friends when they too have done no wrong in spite of Nami's protests.
ミルキー野郎
先行ってろナミわかった
A totally different looking attack to anything we've ever seen. Okay, that's absolutely sick. Get out of here. Honestly, I much prefer this. I figured Oda would make them beat them easily. Didn't expect Luffy to so far run circles around them, so to speak. He's using his body and his ability in a completely new and different way to anything before now. Sanji and Zoro doing a very rare working in unison to ensure this guy couldn't snipe Luffy from behind.
おめえら少し金の使い方ってもう考えてたな。
お前の食費だよ。
Luffy totally trying to fight Usopp for best reactions in the series with that.
とにかく戦いの方は俺の指示したフォーメーション B 成功だ。
本
And not to be outdone, Chopper is fast approaching too.
我々ホワイトベレー部隊はこの神の国では最も優しい方の番人だ。お前たちはこれでもはや第2級犯罪者。
Really hyping me up with their reveal that they're now class 2 felons? I don't know, but much more importantly that there are others who are going to be after them now, even stronger foes too.
それで通ったら不法入国？詐欺よ！こんなの訴えてやる！
Nami is funny here but also raises a good point I stupidly hadn't thought about. She said it was okay for them to pass, but now they're saying it's illegal. Something is fishy, boys and gals.
第2級犯罪者となってしまわれては私たちはお力には。
なんでそんなに離れて話すの？
No one does these kinds of jokes this consistently elsewhere, I don't think. That was friggin' brilliantly done.
何が大冒険よ！だから教えたでしょ！
Who can do this job, then just ignore little Chopper hugging Sanji's leg for protection? You'd be heartless!
追っ手が来るもの出るのよこの国から。出るだと？アホイエ！お前は冒険と命とどっちが大事だ！
Oh my word! That's such a clever thing for him to be able to do for comedic effect. Oda is legit a master of his craft to be able to juggle serious things, adventure, and then pure comedy.
さあみんな船を出すわよ！小西おじさんいろいろありがとね！
Perfect follow-up to the earlier win about Sanji taking charge for a bit, then Usopp, and now Nami is back, she's basically doing it. I really like that for some reason.
俺に当たるな。
チョッパーあんたは私の味方よね。
脅すね。
Half the win is Nami being all cute with Chopper in a very threatening do what I want kind of way, but also how Oda has again split the crew logically, gathering food, repair goods, and so on.
今はしごを下ろすところなのに。
I don't think I'll ever get bored of watching Chopper doing adorable things. It's a real problem in my life. But also, Robin being a total sweetheart was going to aid in getting him up there.
私追っ手に殺されるじゃない。
あ、じゃあそうしろ。
I'm just going to come out and say it. I so adore this crew. Literally all of them are fantastic. There's never been a more complete crew of lovable characters with so many members to me.
禁断の聖地アッパーヤードへ。
Nice introduction to this new area with the flashing images of weird looking stuff, but also it's interesting how it's, unlike this area, looking like a legit island with plant life.
できる小西。いいえ。
そんなに都合のいい海流があるのなら空島からの生還者がもっと正解にいてもおかしくないのだけれど。
Robin being so lovely in general and very shrewd here. What a great zoom out shot.
なんだおい。
もう海流になったのかな。
Really didn't expect them to suddenly be attacked. Even more weird is Usopp was watching from afar like he noted something, and of course, awesome that Zoro caught his blades here.
来ちゃってんの。
どこ見て何喋ってんだてめえは！
I feel for Sanji in this moment, but it still gets away for making me laugh, and for a classic One Piece change of clothing. But I will miss that swimsuit.
ちょっと待って、何これ？何なの？
For the love of God, someone help Chopper! The genuine shock and horror I felt when seeing my boy Zoro be unable to cause any damage to this thing, and that's after learning what he did at the end of the last saga. Damn!
ダメか。手応えあり。
Couple wins. Firstly, I felt happy to see that his attacks did crack it, so he can cause damage.
口を開けて追ってくる。これで飛び込んで逃げることもできない。
Secondly, Robin thinking smart, getting Zoro back on board after seeing that hungry-looking fish are happily following along to make them into food. Lastly, the previous 2 wins grant a further 3rd win, as it made me understand just how next level this place is in a way, as they're really on the back foot suddenly. And just like that, Oda has once again masterfully split the crew, meaning he can show off his big brain by writing storylines that diverge here, as he's done so many times before. Can't wait!
アッパーヤードの北東生贄の祭壇です
Oh damn, learning where it's taking half the crew, and that music is a wonderful choice here to really drive the tension home for these lads.
従って今実際に裁かれているのはここにいるあなた方3人なのです
A most excellent twist. So clever. They're hostages now, these 3 are being tested, and then it affects them potentially.
でも
心配すんなあいつらのことだ大丈夫
God, I love Luffy as a character so much! Really awesome way to show how large this place is, hence the size of this saga taking place up here, but also showing us where they are and where they need to go. Look at it! It's like a weird lobster train or something!
はいアッパーヤードには想像を超える強さを持つ4人の神官たち
Oh yes, this piece of information now seriously hyping me up. They're gonna take on the 4 strongest. It's simple, but it's a winning formula. Great looking end to the episode with a nice looking art style change on the trees there. Also at the start, you can see one of the milky roads they were talking about during the last convo. It gets a win for the realism of having been built since the map was made 200 plus years ago. Nice new ED. The song once again felt like a good choice, but that gets better as it goes on. Not quite the same as the last 2 EDs for me personally, but still nice and decent visuals too of everyone.
ホワイトベレーの追及を逃れたルフィたちだが
I don't know whose idea it was to start doing these large area maps for recaps, but it's pure genius. This one being even better detailed than Arabasta to my eyes.
あなんだ
急にいなくなったと思ったらどこほっつき歩いてんだよ
A lovely and fairly long not walking on the spot I had to show you. Also though it's a classic clothing change for both Usopp and Sanji here too.
オラの船を適当にかっぱらってミルキーロードに乗ればいいだけだ
ここらに適当にかっぱらう船があるかだから考えんな
I had to edit that down a little bit, but long story short, it made my sides physically hurt that Luffy came up with a plan that involved taking ships that literally didn't exist. This map legit looking stunningly detailed.
生贄の祭壇に行けるようにご案内してあげなさいと父にことづかって
Oh, that is so awesome. It's basically a Vivi type situation from the last saga, albeit for less time on this occasion, I'd presume, given the shorter saga length, but it's great to see more of her.
せっかくだしじゃあ頼ま
Ah! Not quite the Vivi situation. It's got the twist that clearly something more is going on in their heads. Can't wait to find out exactly what it is. They really do be animating them when they really didn't have to. Seeing this place from a nice distance away on this occasion, and that way you can really see how unique it is.
したら死ぬかもしれないんですよ
ああみんないつか死ぬさ
This perfectly sums up who Luffy is to my mind.
ラブリー通りはエンジェル島唯一の繁華街なんです
Yet more not walking on the spot, but also seeing the town up close like this is absolutely lovely, and the animators really filled it with life, and made it truly unique to Oda's vision.
島雲の特性を生かした作りになってますから
焼肉屋はねえのかな
Such an awesomely different looking sight to behold. It reminds me of the place in the clouds you go in the second Xenoblade game, where those religious people are. Wouldn't be One Piece for me at this early point if the crowds of people didn't look so unique.
あしかし変なもんいっぱい売ってんな
Getting our first look at a food store and thus tons of wildly different looking foods on display to what we've seen down below. Dear Lord, that's such a crazy cool way of allowing travel up there, albeit also fairly dangerous if you were to fall, but still. I love him so much. Just the things he gets up to whilst no one is paying attention. It's like he's always having mini adventures.
助ける？だから大丈夫だよ。ゾロも一緒に捕まってんだからよ。
あんな奴に任せておけるか。
There's that bond that both Luffy and Zoro share with one another, where they're both more than happy to rely on the proven strength of the other.
これはバース。空に住む人々の永遠の憧れそのものです。
バース
Dropping really well-placed lore on it like it's no big deal. Really went all out with the beautiful background sights this episode. That must have been a serious pain to place all of that back there and make it look good and realistic to where they are.
このゴンドラ！
かっこいいな。これ借りよう。
Showing this for the visuals, but also because just prior, I found it cool as she explained there's tons of different kinds of boats for different purposes. Speed, ones you can sleep on, etc.
どうぞ使ってください。
いや、俺は行かない。
Suddenly, we're met with the mystery element again, likely about to be revealed, everyone acting strange in town, wanting them to go to the docks, him watching, her reaction. Let's go!
俺はこれよりあっちがいい。
Okay, they're holding on to the mystery a little while longer, it seems.
こいつのわがままなんて聞くことないですから。
うまさい。
はい。
Oh man, his face. That is so messed up.
出口は2番ゲートです。アッパーヤードへつながる巨大なミルキーロードへ出られるので。
I really like how it's not just a random looking road, but instead there's some industrialization behind it with the clear sign and what looks like a bit of a building at the entrance.
おい、コニス。
はい。
お前ん家出てからずっと、お前なんで震えてんだ？
Really says a lot that Luffy of all people basically did notice this from the stairs already when she first said she'd come with them, and more has been waiting for her to reveal what's up. It's really very sweet of Usopp to think, even still now, of her and her father and how they'll be treated due to this help.
違いますよ。試練のルートを丁寧に説明したり、ここへ自ら案内したり。
お前やめろ！バカなこと口にするんじゃない！
Even though their plan largely fell apart entirely when he does this, she still gets credit in my book for not wanting to go through with what must have been a ruse or trap of sorts and warns them. For the year, they did some real good animation from a distance like here.
一時の興奮が冷めると誰しも夢や冒険より自分の命が惜しくなるものなんて許してください、小西さん。それが国民の義務なのです。
ごめんなさい。
Ah, that makes more sense. So it's a trick that's not really a trick, as they're not the kind of crew to ever back down from going where they're meant to be going to rescue the others. Fair enough.
超特急エビ呼んだの私なんですよね。
Okay, now that does change things. I had a feeling about that, but big credit to Oda for not literally revealing it instantly. Instead, he let it stew for a solid episode and a bit first.
犯罪者を確認したら裁きの地へ誘導しないと私たち殺されてしまうから。
Another thing I find Oda does so well is not revealing everything from the start with a lore or exposition dump. We're learning something new now, and we've been here for like nearly 10 episodes.
バカ野郎お前。こうしなきゃ仕方なかったんだろう。
Ah, Luffy can be so cool and understanding, dude. Especially when he can see how much it's wrecking her, having lied to them, and done that to Nami and the others too.
じゃあそれを。なんで俺たちに言うんだ！お前が狙われるんだぞ！
Them all being more annoyed at her, having potentially risked her and her father's lives, because ultimately they take responsibility for their own actions and have faith in their strength.
裁きが来るぞ！
Oh my goodness, this is so hype! I had no idea it could fire pretty much anywhere. I thought it was just on that island. I must admit, I do also like this colour palette change they keep using.
ダメだ！でけ！
Luffy being a legend and trying to get her away from the blast radius, but even then it seems way too large. I'm losing my mind over here! Now Now I'm convinced whoever is doing this is basically evil. They're destroying people's homes and everything at the same time. The damage from the fallout of the attack is even bigger than I thought it'd be. The plot thickens even more. So let me get this straight. He's powerful and important. He goes against the wishes of that god. And so clearly there's strong opposing forces at play here. Let's go! What an absolute legend as well. Forgot to mention that in the last win. Guess it deserves its own as he saves them both.
いいえ、みんな知っています。帰ってきてください。神様。
The plot keeps getting thicker and in this way ever more tasty too. All of the hand-done animation on the boat.
守ってやりてえが一緒に連れて行くわけにもいかねえ。
確かに俺たちの方が危険そうかもな。
Sanji can be rather pragmatic when it comes to it. He wants to protect her but can't, so he's happy to let someone else who is clearly capable do it for now.
あれがパイヤードか？
すっげえ地図にこんな森書いてあったか
We got here way quicker than I thought we would.
いや、森なら確かに書いてあるけど、こういう印象は受けねえな。
その地図を持ってた奴らが200年前の人間だろ？
The time element is so well done because they have a map from over 200 years ago. So to me, it's so cool that back then this was a small forest when the map was made, and now it's this huge. A good old job is done here of making this part of the world look huge. Everything looks massive compared to their little boat.
中いるぞ。
それおめえ森だもんよ
Adding some lore to this place without outright saying anything, such as that it contains monsters, but also that so many boats got wrecked here near the entrance. Friggin' great twist suddenly with this thing slicing down. Damage animators at play right here. Great looking scene as they dodge the incoming attacks, but good on the animators for sparing a second to show that it's clearly mechanical in nature rather than just existing. Such a good use of visibility, and it works beautifully because it's rather solid as a base.
今度はやりくれよ。
What I'm taking away from this already is that whatever or whoever is here seriously doesn't want people going through here.
一体どこなんだここは。間違いないことはアッパーヤードの内陸部だってこと。
Now that I love. We focused on Luffy, Sanji and Usopp for a solid episode and a bit, and now we're switching to these lads and ladesses. That's clever stuff. Keeps things mixed up.
方法はどうあれ神に命が捧げられるんだ。
Zoro leaping in to help in case he needed it, but Robin again impressing with her insanely versatile power. Good thing Zoro did leap down there in the first place, and my word, that attack hit so hard, it was amazing! Zoro has rarely looked so badass, and that was already a damn high bar. Good habit they've shown of being able to do smooth transitions from static backgrounds to animated. Because I don't think this has ever happened before, where he just can't figure out what move to use, it really got me. Honestly, Sanji never fails to impress me with his powerful kicks, but it's on a whole other level against something like that. Zoro fighting it as hard as he can, but let's not cast aside for even a moment Chopper's totally amazing concern for his buddy. Dude, he knocked it that far away with a punch!
あんたサメ殴り飛ばしたわね剣士のくせに
Nami trying to pick a fight, as so often happens in their dynamic, but you can see how concerned she was as it was going down.
そんな地味なことするもんなのか神ってのは。
さあ、会ったことないもの。
Nami going off while he tries to dry his top to get him a fresh one, bless her. Not to be forgotten though, it's a new piece of clothing too.
あんなわけのわからない恐ろしい奴らに会ってどうすんのよ。
さあな、そいつの態度次第だ。
I'm just gonna say this, I don't think I've ever seen a more consistently cool character. Just saying.
悪いが俺は神に祈ったことはねえ。
So that's getting max wins, and the reason is thusly. First of all, it really made me laugh with the reaction itself, but secondly, it was a beautiful, flawless follow-up to the last win. So cool!
私も一緒に行っていいかしら、ケンシさん。
あ？いいが足手まといになんなよ。
Pretty cool that now the team is splitting up even further, with Zoro and Robin making their way further into the forest to investigate.
これ見て。この祭壇は作られてから軽く1000年は経過してるわ。
Robin showing off her big sexy brain again here. She's such a great addition to the crew for numerous reasons.
こういう歴史あるものってうずくのよね、体が。
I like her a whole lot.
歴史探索よ。メガベリーだ。
Nami is joining them too, just not happy about my boy Chopper being left all alone on the ship though.
これでいいかしら。
How come she's just the best though?
それは何？言う決まりなの？
Well, never saw that side of him before.
度胸あるじゃない。
She literally continues to be the best. I love her ability.
おーって言わねえからだ。
そういう問題か。
Totally a rare instance of Zoro doing the same thing she always does to him, but to her for a change.
みんな気をつけていけよ。無事に帰ってこいよ。
These are the moments I cannot help but love, and it makes me fall in love with the crew. Hard to describe, but it feels like they're heading off and he's staying on guard. It's like it happened.
みんな勇気があってすげえな。俺もそのうち床になれるかな。
Feels like a real good bit of future character growth potentially going on there, much the same as with Usopp.
ゴムゴムのピストル。
Kinda snuck up on me how strong the crew is at this point in the story.
でも完全に行き止まりだぞ。
いや、入り口が4つある。
The plot is totally thickening at a rate I might not be able to stir it soon. Damn man, Zoro reacting like an absolute legend in next to no time at all. I'm shocked, he's great. Robin with the nice save there too to avoid damage, and the physical damage on the creature was a nice touch too.
土よ。
当たり前でしょ。地面なんだから。
ここは空島よ。
ふわふわしてね。
Great twist and what I was talking about a short while back. This isn't like anything else. It's like land from below. I noted that right away pretty much as being weird. So smart. Ah, now it makes sense. These guys from before hunting that dude are clearly the priests that have been mentioned. Let's go! The various different ordeals that Usopp envisions himself going through one by one.
外れだったらそうだな、空島から落ちるとか。
お前らそんなわけ。
Can't believe he got it 100% spot on for a change, and the other three all led onto different areas. One of the best reactions in the entire series, a highlight being Usopp losing his teeth.
本当に1万メートル落下するのかと。
Okay, they didn't fall all that way down, but it was still genuinely shocking as hell to me personally. I gotta lay down!
いつの間にかえらく高いとこ走ってるぞ。
For context, he told them no eating, keep a careful watch, and now they're eating. So that's funny, but mainly for me, it went back to that earlier win about various people taking charge, like Sanji now. Our heroes finally meeting very likely the first of the priests, and I'm guessing this is some weird ability maybe?
よくぞ我が玉の試練を選んでくれた。ははは。
You can so easily hear that this is the principal from My Hero Academia, almost the exact same style he does for that. Far stronger than first appearances would suggest, clearly. Didn't expect that, and the sound effects were solid.
修行者にのみ授けられる力は
That's creepy, dude. He can tell what move they're going to do before they do it, throwing them off. It's weird. Oh, that legit made me proper sad, that did. He lost all his confidence and now doesn't want to be alone. My heart!
そうか、ルフィたちが来てくれるんだ。俺は下手に動かないでルフィたちを待ってればいいんだ。その間に船を直しておこう。ゾロに頼まれたしな。
Not even lying, when he regained said confidence a moment later, remembering that Luffy is coming, I had such a big smile on my face, I swear. Win number like 6 of me saying that Chopper's voice actress is one of the greatest things to ever happen to this anime. Already, Oda has created what I call a JoJo situation, where I've not the first clue how Luffy, or anyone for that matter, can beat someone who can see the future. Darth Weirdo, Fiji, Nick Wyndham, The Element Taylor Wars, Christopher Willis, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Fancy Turtle, Capan, Mini Masher, Marquez, Nozomi, Orekeeper, Otar Bananisi, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brandon Creer, Brian Bayard, Cameron, Christian Tavasa, Commander Cyrus, David Mayer Olmos, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Aaron Winters, Guru, James Tafoya, Jor Edvinson, Kevin Halston, Cumfroy, Kylie Welp, Luis Benito, Mr. Mansu, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Ruby Rose, Satoko Yari, Zionx 44, Sean, Starkip, The 100s, Tiger Lily Warrior, Ajoka, Alexander Schwartz, Ali 50, Amadillo, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dante Soul, Dante's Face, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Devon, Dragon Defender, Iso, Francie, Garrett Vermeesh, Gibbs, Hooved Lowe's Ritter, Hunter Miranda, Isel Caldera, Jason Davies, John, Jaffa 6263, Kai Wolfspring, Kelnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevin 102, Knuckle Duster, Kai 158, Kyle Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gugati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Marvin, Matthew Blancett, Michael Lewis, Motivirum, Moudini, Mr. Fire Cool, Nathaniel Gregomosa, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, Novagown, 9028, Ollie the Mighty, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Oscar I. Lopez, Owen Halloran, Q-Flash, Chris Harris, Ryan DeVeries, Psychomi Aorum, Sarcastic Truth, Snowy, Stan, Storm 970, TRS, Thrasher 340, Will Sass, Willyman.